And welcome to the Loft at Battleground Games and Hobbies in Abington, Massachusetts. Hi there, I'm Andrew. Let's try this again. I was having trouble with my audio, but it looks like it's working now. I'm going to start some tunes. There we go. Lovely. Sorry about that, folks. I was saying, first of all, thank you for joining me, and welcome, as I said, to Battleground Games and Hobbies in Abington, Massachusetts. I'm going to be doing some more work on Legion, the Star Wars Legion demo kit that I'm putting together. This is the starter box for Star Wars Legion, which comes out on Thursday. I have taken on the assignment of getting everything assembled and painted in time for Thursday. There are, by my calculation, 33 figures in this box. I am not going to have everything painted by Thursday, but I'll have a good start on it. I'll have everything built, and I'll have everything primed and based. I will probably get a base coat on everything, and then it's just a little more tweaking to get things looking good. I thought a lot last night about what I was going to do with stuff, so I've got plans. Before I start, though, on Star Wars Legion, I wanted to work a little bit more on my painting and modeling competition entry that I have. We are doing a painting and modeling competition here in the Abington store, and the theme is Winter's End, and this is my piece, which I have been carefully assembling for the last month or so. I'm actually pretty proud of where I am with this. You can see it's got a druid here. If I can get him in focus. There he is. This is the NMU WizKids pre-primed druid, and facing him we have this ice troll. That is a Reaper Bones ice troll mini. And then I've got these vines which are coming up out of the base here, wrapping up around the ice troll, holding him in place. I have entitled the piece Winter Entangled. And the vines are by Games Workshop. They produce these vines. I'm actually very pleased with how everything is looking, but the base is kind of bare. So I wanted to very quickly, as a warm-up today, finish work on the base. My plan is, I have some just sand. This is the Hobby Round Snow. I'm just going to apply some of that to the base, make it look a little more wintry and a little less gray. So I wanted to get some Elmer's glue to do this with, but when I went to the store, at the hardware store, I didn't find any Elmer's glue. What I'm using is white Gorilla Glue, which looks to be basically Elmer's glue. And I'm going to just scooge a little bit out onto a palette and paint it onto the base, and then from there I will add my snow. Of course, I'm going to drop my paintbrush on the floor first. There we go. We're good. I just want to do this quickly. I don't know how it's going to end up looking. Yeah, this glue is very viscous. It's not Elmer's, but it'll do. It's a sort of plastic glue. So I want to just sort of apply some snow as if it had blown in, so I'm just trying to, against the sides of some of the rocks here, get some glue in, and probably against the bottom of the vine here, along the sides of these rocks here. Don't want to go overboard, so I'm trying to be light with this. Just get a little in there. And then I should have grabbed a box or something so that the excess would have somewhere to go. Oh my goodness, it's going everywhere already. It's fine. I have a bucket over here, so I'm just going to do it over the bucket. I've glued a lot to my fingers already, so I don't know. I don't know how much I like that, but it's just a dusting, so let's get it down into the inside of the model there a bit. At least it makes the base less monochrome, because the base was very just gray. I had basically painted the base in gray with a brown wash, and it came out looking all right, but very bland. Trick here is getting the glue on the base and not on the model. Alright, let's apply some more snow and see how it looks. Whoop. The base came off my figure. Okay. So, not perfect, but it looks a little better. Just want to get the dust off the model itself. I think I could use a little more buildup right in here. Well, I don't know. It's okay. It's not great. It's just sort of got everywhere, but that's fine. I'm still very proud of the figures themselves, the painting that I did on those. Obviously, I didn't do any actual construction on them. I'm going to actually plop a couple of blops of glue on the base here because it came off the clay that I had built. There we go. There we are. And then there's a couple of places on the back of the clay here that I wanted to be white and are no longer white, or wanted to be black that are no longer black. So I have my black This is just surface primer. This is like super, super dark black. And I'm just gonna go over those bits that need a little extra. Trying to keep my brush from getting all gluey. Because I'm going to be using this brush later. The brush I'm using is just a hobby dry brush. It's, you know, big, huge end bristles, good for just putting glue on stuff, putting stuff on bases. Because part of my plan today is to actually get some stuff on bases. I think I may have destroyed this brush with this glue, because this is not water soluble glue. That's fine, I can get myself a fresh brush. Yeah, that brush. Womp womp. Excuse me a moment, I'm going to run downstairs and grab myself a new brush. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Sorry about that. This is why I wanted to have some Elmer's glue. Would have been superior. The glue that I got was not water soluble and definitely destroyed that brush, which is fine. Got myself a new brush, which I will be using for basing right now and for touching up the base of this piece. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. You can see some of the clay through there. I wanted this just to be black on this side. So this will just be a couple quick swipes. Zoop. Not fancy, but serviceable. There we go. Let's look on the back side here. All right. So this is interesting. Look at how the snow is reacting with the glue. It's sort of bubbling and frothing. Actually looks kind of cool. That was not my intent, but I don't mind it. It looks okay. I'm gonna call this guy done. Oops, and I'm gonna get paint on my fingers. So let's call that done. And let's get back to Star Wars Legion. So my plan for today with Star Wars Legion, I want to finish building the remaining pieces that I've got here. Get some of this out of the way. And I want to start doing some work on the bases of these guys that I've completed already before I move on to priming them. So let's look who I've got here. I've got two of these guys here with their giant gun. I've got this fellow here. I did a quick Google search because I wasn't certain what color I should make his. I was thinking he should be blue, but he's sort of a bluish gray, I think. So I'm going to do a bluish gray, and his eyes should be red, although his eyes are really recessed in there. But yeah, he's going to be fun. Got these rebel troopers here. And then for the Empire, I've got these guys, very basic. I've got these fellows with the sort of giant howitzer, laser howitzer. Got these guys with the shoulder pads, they're commanders. So I'm going to have to, I think that'll be fun. Give it a little splash of color, put some red on that. And another set of guys with just a blaster. So these are all the ones that I've got done. Oh, and I've got a pair of speeder folks. I realized last night that although I put Vader's arm on him, I never glued him onto a base. The same for Luke. I connected Luke's arms on, but I never put him on a base. So we'll do that in a few moments. Again, I am keeping Vader in two pieces so that I can prime him in two pieces. I've been thinking about my plan for priming. I have some white primer, and I'm going to use that for all the Imperial Stormtroopers. And I have some green primer, and I'm going to use that for all the Rebel troops. And then I have, I want to get some gray primer for Luke and for Vader and for the speeder bikes, which I think came out very nicely. I really like these speeder bikes there. They've got some fun detail on them. I'm looking forward to painting them. All right. So what to do first? I think I'm going to take everybody who has a base right now, and I'm going to work on their bases. So I just, like I said, I have some wood glue, and I have a bucket full of sand next to me here. And I'm just going to put some sand on the bases to give them some pop, because plain bases are boring. Actually get rid of this palette with the toxic glue. Check this out. The glue reacted with my palette. This is the clear Gorilla Glue. That's kind of nifty. I don't know what's going on there, but it's hilarious. Chemical reactions. Alright, so we need some wood glue on my palette. We need my new brush. And this is just super simple. A great way to make figures more interesting is just get some texture on their bases. So we'll take my guy here. I don't have a good handle that I can use, so I'm going to get glue all over my fingers as I do this. So I'm just going to get glue all on the base. I'll get right up to his feet, but not on his feet too much. And the great thing about just using a bucket full of sand is it's just all kinds of different textures all mixed together. And it's going to be great when it actually goes on the base. You'll recall if you watched yesterday how precarious some of these guys were on their bases. So I'm trying to be kind of delicate. I don't want to accidentally knock anybody off of their base. Let's put some sand on there. And hey presto, instant base. It looks great. It'll look even better once it's been primed and, you know, you'll add some detail to it. There we go. Looks pretty cool. So I'm just going to do that for everybody who's got a base. Is my chat working? I'm not seeing anybody in chat, but that could be because it's super early in the morning and maybe nobody's watching. But it could also be that my chat is just dead. I'm confident that I'm live. Maybe not. No, I'm live. Yep, looks good. Hello, chat. Yeah, it's working fine. Great. So rinse and repeat. Literally. Is always rinse your brushes thoroughly. When I'm done with all these bases, I'll move on to assembling the rest of the models. Let them dry while I prime these guys. So I'll take these in the back hall and hit them with the primer. I'm getting a lot of glue on the brush, but that's fine. I don't really have to worry about brush strokes or anything messing up the model because all of this is going to be covered with sand. So my only concern here is that I really don't want to glue a lot of sand on the model itself. So I'm trying to be delicate and not get too much glue on his feet. Just pushing it right up against his feet. Okay. There was a lot more fine sand that time, but that's fine. Some variation in bases is fine. He at least got a little texture in there, not as much as the other guy. I'm kind of rushing at this point. I mean, not really, but with something like this where this is a project that's due on Thursday and today is Tuesday morning, I don't have a lot of time for finesse. I'm trying to be delicate but not obsessive. I want to get stuff on the model. And I want to get all these bases nicely done. But I don't want to spend too much time on it. So it's a balance. I want to say thank you to Raven Desk Games for the follow. I missed that yesterday because I was in the middle of painting, and when I have my glasses off, or I was in the middle of modeling, but when I have my glasses off, I can't see the chat too terribly well. And my nearsightedness means that it's easier for me to do detail work with my glasses off. So, sorry I didn't acknowledge you at the time, and I suspect nobody is watching now, but if anybody is watching on the VOD, they'll know that I thanked Raven Desk Games for the follow. I have to set up a follow noise and notification noise for our chat. I've got a notification noise for subscriptions and for bits. Actually, I think I just still have the default bit noise in there right now. But for some reason, I chose to not keep the default noise for follows and the little default zombie animation. So I don't have any alert. I mean, there's there's an alert that appears on the stream when somebody follows, but I, on my end, don't hear it because there's no notification noise set for it right now. Glopping on that glue. Good amount of glue will do a good job of hanging on to some of the sand when I dump it on there. No, that's too much. Too much. Okay. Just basically an assembly line here. He got some nice bits. Check it out. I like the randomness of using sand as well. It's cool because it's just non-deterministic. Everybody's going to have a different looking base, just subtly. When I'm done with everything, I'm going to add some tufts to the bases as well. I've got some tufts out in my car. And those are, I mean, sometimes it feels like a cheat, but tufts are amazing. You'll see what I mean when I get to that stage. Sorry, pulling back and not on camera. The whole point of doing this on stream was so that folks could have fun watching me doing some modeling, and then I'm not doing anything on camera, and you guys are just watching an out of focus Battleground Games playmat. Thrilling content. There, ooh, I got a little glued down on the base. I don't want that. I want that pristine. Okay. Coming along well. Getting some good texture on there. When I hit these guys with the primer, that's going to look great. Almost done with all the rebels that I built yesterday. You know what? I'm going to, excuse me a moment, while I quickly tweet out what I'm doing so that if anybody's interested in watching, they can. For our legions of followers. Okay. Maybe that will bring in some viewers. Wow, I got a lot of dust on my phone. All good. I should have brought more paper towels up with me. I'm using the paper towels, obviously, to dry my brush after rinsing it. And the one paper towel I've got is going to be quite damp by the time I'm done. Okay. This is the last rebel trooper and his base. Just slap that glue on there. After this, I'll do the Imperial troops. Same thing, just glue, sand, get them ready to be primed. Let's try and, again, not to get glue and sand all over the figure himself, but get enough glue on the base that it can hang on to some good big chunks. Yeah. It's like a little bit of magic. It's a magic trick. You just take a plain, unassuming, regular looking base and a little wood glue and a little sand, and it just looks so much more interesting. All right, so I've got some Imperial troops to do, and I'm going to do the bases for the speeder bikes as well. So I was thinking about the bases this morning. It comes with these gray bases for the Imperial troops and the sort of brownish bases for the Rebel troops. After I smack them with the primer, they're not going to be gray and brown anymore. I'm doing the Imperial troops in white primer because they're all stormtroopers, and I'm doing the Rebel troops in green primer because they're all dressed for a mission on Endor's moon, so they should have a sort of camo look to them. Boy, this is watery. I didn't dry my brush enough. It's okay. Hopefully it'll do the trick and hang on to some sand. Oh man. Okay. I completely buried one of his feet. It's fine. Everything's fine. He's got this weird mound between his feet there. Whatever. That's the problem with hurrying. Try not to hurry too much. Yeah, Games Workshop is on the phone. Too bad we're not open yet. Okay. This time let's dry the brush a little better. Trying not to kill 2 brushes in one day. I feel bad already about destroying my other brush. Yeah, it's fine. Get in under his heels and stuff. That'll do. There we go. Get some stuff in there. He didn't get as much like larger bits, so not great. But you know, any detail is better than no detail, which is these bases are very plain. And I just don't want plain bases, even on a demo. I want it to look appealing. My plan with this demo... Hey, Topran01 for the Rebels. I'm basically going with a Star Wars Episode 3, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Look, all of the Rebels they're basically dressed for combat on the Endor moon. So my plan is to, when I hit them with the aerosol primer, I'm going to prime them in green, which will give me a good base to work from. And then I'm going to do them in various camo shades. Obviously, the Stormtroopers are white. Stormtroopers are kind of generic, but you can get some good detail on them. There's his base. That came out pretty well, I think. So yeah, look at these Rebels here. Look at this guy. He's straight out of Return of the Jedi. He's got that very familiar hat. That's the hat that Leia gives to Wicket. So yeah, I'm gonna do them in a camo look. Rex Vulpine? Is that you? If that is Rex, the Rex that I know, I want to congratulate you on making day 2. That was pretty awesome. All right. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. I have not watched Clone Wars and Rebels. So I am behind on my Star Wars knowledge. People have really been raving about the final season of Star Wars Rebels. I just don't have a lot of free time for passive viewing. I do streaming on my own channel. I do streaming here on Battleground Games Live. Work, obviously, my day job at Battleground, which is both working the counter and working in the online store. And between all of those various activities, I find I have virtually no time for watching TV. I go to the movies fairly frequently. I've gone to see Black Panther 3 times now, because I think that movie is amazing. But I just don't know. I don't map out the time. I don't make the time for television, which is sad because there's so much I want to watch these days. Oh, that didn't work well. You got too much fine detail grit and no good big chunks. Oh well. There he is with his base. You got a couple of little chunks. Just compare that base to that base. Look how interesting that is. And this one is just whatever. Just means that he'll have room for a big old tuft. He'll have some grass on his base when I get to that stage, which is probably not until late Thursday, because I have to prime all these guys, which I'm going to be doing today, and then tomorrow I'm going to start doing a base coat and get some detail in on them. I still haven't done the ATRT, the giant rebel walker for this game. That thing is going to be a challenge to assemble, I think. Just based on the fact that it took me, what, an hour yesterday to build 2 speeder bikes. Admittedly, I was, sort of figuring things out as I went. The assembly instructions that come with the game show you what parts go where in a sort of general way. But they're not detailed instructions. Like, they don't say, insert tab A into slot B or anything convenient like that. So you have to sort of look at it, look at the instructions, and then look at the model. And with the troopers, it's really easy to figure out. Some of this glue is really watery here. I hope it works okay. With the troopers, most of them are just 2 pieces, maybe 3. So it's relatively easy to figure out what piece goes where. Oh man, yeah. Oh, check that out. Look at all that cool detail I got on that base. That looks great. Proud of that one. What was I saying? Oh, the instructions give you sort of a vague outline of how to put things together. So when I came to the speeder bikes, it slowed me way down because I was having to figure it out for myself as I went. That's all in yesterday's VOD. I'll put that up on the YouTube at some point too. One thing I am wondering about, because you asked about putting what color scheme I was going to do, I want to somehow communicate in the bases that this is the forest moon of Endor, but I don't really have a shorthand that will work on a base for that. I don't know, maybe I'll go back to the movie, look at the undergrowth, and see if there's anything I can put on a base that says Endor. I mean, Hoth, obviously you would use, some ice and some snow. Tatooine, just some sand. But Endor, how do you make the bases look like Endor as opposed to just generic grassland or generic? Oh, that came out well. Look at that. Okay. 2 more bases and then I'm going to get back to assembly. Trying to get some of the glue out of my brush, because I'm going to need this brush, particularly when it comes to priming the bases for the land speeders and the speeder bikes. I'm going to have to look around online to get some reference for the various weapons when I go to paint the detail on those. Like this rocket launcher shaped weapon. I want to have some idea of how I should color that. I mean, obviously I could just color it like a generic blaster, but I feel like it's probably a specific weapon from the Star Wars Expanded Universe. So I should be able to find some reference for what it should look like in the various Star Wars wikis. There's that base. Came out nice. Last one. Well, and then I'm going to do the speeder bike bases, which are much bigger. And then we'll get back to assembly. So I made a grave error yesterday when I left the store. I was kind of in a hurry after the stream. I streamed until about 7 p.m. and I wanted to get home and have dinner. And when I left, I was like, well, I'm going to be back tomorrow morning, so I'll just leave everything the way it is. And I can, oh, I'm doing this off stream again. I'll just leave everything the way it is, and I can just pick up where I left off when I get in to work tomorrow. I'll just come in early and do some more painting and modeling, which was fine. Nobody else was going to be using the loft yesterday. Nobody was scheduled to use it. I just told Riley, who was working last night, just be aware there's streaming stuff in the loft as well as all the Legion stuff. But what I didn't do is cap my glue. I left my glue uncapped all night, so I'm kind of dreading when we get to the modeling phase. I fear that my Zap-A-Gap may have set during the night. We'll find out. I verified before going live with the stream that there was no... Oh, nice. Yeah, I got some big rocks on there. Check that out. I verified before going live that there was no obstructions in the nozzle for my glue, but that does not in any way mean that the glue itself isn't compromised. It looks like it's still liquid. We'll find out. We'll find out. All right, so these are the bases for the speeder bike, and you can see they have a clear peg for the speeder bike. I don't want to prime that peg, so I'm going to have to manually paint these, which is fine. I'll get to that in a little bit. Just not going to hit those with an aerosol primer because it sort of defeats the purpose of having a clear peg to imply that your speeder bike is floating if you paint that peg black or gray. Need a little more wood glue here. Done with that for now. I definitely can't wait to see how this game plays, because I haven't even looked at the instructions yet. I've just been building. I just opened it yesterday, and I've been like a dervish, putting stuff together as fast as I possibly can, because I want to have a complete demo set ready to play with on Thursday. So if anybody wants to try it out, we have that ready to go. We're going to have, I believe, a bunch of different events going on in the stores with regards to Star Wars Legion. So if you come in and hang out and do your modeling in the store, we have a promotional one-page starter rule set that we'll be giving out to folks. And then there's sort of learn to play skirmishes, which is what I want to have this ready to go for, which introduce folks to the rules and stuff. There we go. And that should be going on all weekend, and then we'll have some sort of a tournament at some point in the near-ish future. I don't know if that's going to happen this weekend. So, my experience so far is that construction is going to take a little while for folks. I've been going flat out, as you saw yesterday, and it took me about 2 hours yesterday to get 2 speeder bikes and, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 troops. So that's roughly half of what's in the box in 2 hours. So, oh gracious, I'm getting glue on the table now. You can extrapolate that it should take about 4 hours to assemble everything, right? Roughly. It's not a guarantee, but if you move at roughly the same speed I'm moving, which is not super fast, but not taking a lot of pauses and stuff, it's probably going to take you about 4 hours to assemble everything in the box. Some people will probably do that. Some people will open the box up and spend 4 hours building right off the bat. Some people probably want to just get to playing. So, I don't know. I don't know if how long it's gonna take folks to get their models, Lord gracious, into the shape that they want things to be. I mean, I'm not particularly fast. I will not claim to be a particularly fast modeler, painter, any of that sort of stuff. I sometimes get hung up on details, and although I've been doing this a little bit, I'm only about a year into my painting and modeling experience, which means, I'm a neophyte in comparison to some of the folks that frequent the store and are regularly here. But Star Wars Legion is intended for a more casual gaming audience than, say, Warhammer 40K. It's really meant to be played. It's sort of a midway. It's not as, straight out of the box and straight to the table as X-Wing minis or any of the, Armada. Even, what's it called? The other Star Wars miniature game. They come pre-assembled, pre-painted. You open the box, and you're ready to go for Armada and X-Wing. There we go. There's that base. A little bit better. Okay. So I'm just gonna cleanse my brush a little bit and get back to assembly. Hope that my glue isn't all dried out. Okay. Alright. Get rid of this palette and all this glue. Man, I got glue everywhere. That's fine. Everything's fine. I don't know if these pallets are rescuable, but that's fine. I'll get more. Alright. Who's next? Let's build some more troops. Now we find out if my glue is okay or not. Nerve-wracking. Alright, pretty simple trooper here. You can just see, you just pop his arms on. So we just need a touch of glue on either side. I'm going to take my glasses off again now, because I'm doing the finer detail work, which is getting the glue into these little holes. Bloop. Yep. Pretty simple. Almost snap to fit, yeah. And just hold him for a moment to let the glue set. So for anybody who's watching, if anybody is watching, which faction are you looking forward to playing more? Are you looking forward to playing the Empire, or are you looking forward to playing the Rebels? Obviously the starter box comes with both, but generally people seem to have preferences. Let's just get this guy on his base here. Here we go. Blowing on the glue to try and get it to set faster. I could always go downstairs and grab some zip kicker, but he actually is pretty well balanced. He seems to be sticking right on there. Awesome. That's him done. I don't want to tilt him too much because he's still obviously wet. Put him over here. I have to keep track of, well, I mean, it's easy for me now to tell who's done and who's not in terms of which base is dry and which base is not, because all the bases that are dry have stuff on them, have sand on them now. Okay. Trying not to get too much glue in there. I'm so relieved that my glue is still liquid, that it didn't just completely solidify overnight. I was worried I was going to come in and have just a block of glue in the thing there. Alright. Pop his arms on. I feel like I scooched some glue around on his face a little bit, but he'll be okay. A lot of these just sort of generic troopers with their blasters out in front of them like this. Okay. He's good. Grab a base for him. Oh man. Yeah. Yesterday I was having so much trouble getting some of the guys to glue to their bases. But knock on wood, so far today we're 2 for 2 with no issues. So many troops. Okay, so he's got a big old rifle like that. Pretty simple. Like I said, the troops, like all the generic folks, and even Vader and Luke, are super easy. Like, you don't even need instructions for them as long as you've got the bits together in the right place. It's easy to figure out how to put them together. But the speeder bikes, boy, those took me a while. There we go. Get his arms in there. Just hold that until he sets. These guys have so much cool detail on them. They're going to be a joy to paint. And he's got this little vest on. Yeah. Alright, he's going to be trickier to stick to his base though, because you can see he's like stepping up on one foot here like this. Cool dynamic poses, but it makes them trickier to get them to stay on their bases, and if my experiences yesterday were any indication. So, yoop. Got some sand on that base already. Okay. See how well balanced he is. Pretty good. Pretty good. I have to say, I really admire some of these sculpts. They're well put together. They've got lots of cool detail, and they're well balanced for their stands. Yesterday I was bemoaning the fact that the stands didn't have slots, but it would have definitely restricted them in the poses that they could do for their figures if they had to slot all the bases. Or they'd have to have, you know, specific bases for specific troops instead of just a large collection of generic bases, which is what they have gone with. Very good. The arm's going to stay on now. Excellent. Excellent. He's tilting a little bit, so I have to hold him for a little while to get him to stay on his base there. But I am optimistic. What time is it now? It's 10:50. I'm optimistic that I'm going to get everybody assembled by the end of my... Whoa, no! Oh, he fell right off. Fell right off his base. Get back up. Okay. I'm hopeful that I'll have everybody... Ah, man, stay on the base already. I'll have everybody everybody assembled by the end of my stream today, which I'm hoping will be around 12. So, got about an hour. Might take me a little bit longer. It's fine. There we go. Come on. Maybe I should have gotten some zip kicker, which accelerates the speed at which the glue dries. Just because I'm on a timeline here. Are you going to stay up? Staying? Okay, I'm not touching him. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 more troops and the ATRT. So, oh man. These guys have separate heads. Their heads just rolled right off. There we go. Easy. And then his arms. Oops, nope, that's upside down. Like that. There is no conundrum that my core cannot compute. Don't call me a moron, you flustered balloon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. Come on. Come on, arms. Can do it. There we go. Got his arms on. I've got some glue on myself, but that's fine. It's an interesting rifle there. It's going to be fun to paint. Sort of almost a laser flamethrower, eh? Yeah. Okay. So I think Amanda and I have talked about our story regarding this song. This is Little Sister by Miracle of Sound. Miracle of Sound, and I mention this all the time when we're doing these. We love Miracle of Sound, who's Irish artist who does music based on video games and movies. Guy named Gav, and Amanda and I got a chance to see him live when we were at the Escapist Expo. The Escapist being an old I don't know that I should have put him in the exact center of that base. Let's scooch him over a little bit. Just because his rifle sticks out so much. But yeah, The Escapist was a online gaming magazine, and they did a pair of expositions in North Carolina. And oh man, how come you don't want to stand up? Amanda and I had a chance to go out to those expeditions, meet folks like Jim Sterling and Gav and Paul and Graham from Loading Ready Run. Just generally a whole lot of interesting online personalities. And we went to a live concert of Miracle of Sound. And it was amazing. And this song was one of the highlights of the concert. It was during this moment in the song that the lights in the auditorium went out. And I don't know if that was a planned thing or if they glitched, but oh man, it was gorgeous. Because this is, a very mellow song, and to just suddenly have the lights go out, it was a moment that will always live on as one of the highlights of ever going to any convention. Absolutely amazing. So, that's my association for this song. Is going to a convention, seeing Gav do this live, and having the lights go out at this particular moment in the song. And, just keep going. It's gorgeous. Okay, so got the head on there, got the arms on there. Need to get another bass ready to go. Okay. I'm getting better at getting these guys on their bases, but I feel like it's still a challenge. Especially these ones that are in these really dynamic poses up on one foot. There's not a lot of surface area on the base, so there's not a lot for the glue to hold on to. Are you gonna stand? Looks like. Alright. I'm being very delicate with some of these folks. Make sure they don't just topple over again until the glue sets. Okay. Ooh, this guy's got a big long sniper rifle sort of thing going on. Pretty cool. I haven't looked at the cards yet for the game, so I don't know if all of these weapons have different abilities. I suspect it's a point buy thing, that you can give them different abilities if you can afford it. There we go. Pretty simple. But look at that rifle. Yeah, I'm gonna have to Google for some image reference. Put you on a base. Running out of bases, that's probably a good sign. Must be getting closer to done. There. Just stand there for a little bit. Almost there. 6 more dudes and then the ATRT. That's gonna be fun. You good? Yeah. I'm hoping tomorrow I'll come in early again, and tomorrow on stream I'll actually get to do some painting, because some of these guys will be primed. Maybe all of them will be primed. And I can start doing base coats and getting a little bit of detail in there. His arms are not in properly. There we go. Just gotta squeeze them in. One problem with doing so many figures in quick succession is I'm getting glue on my fingers. And I don't want to glue the models to myself. That defeats the purpose. Okay, that's good. Base. Again, I am so relieved that my glue didn't solidify overnight. I mean, it easily could have. Yep. I always thought that this song would be a good inspiration for a Mass Effect sequel, or prequel, or interquel, or whatever you want to call it, where the story is all about the people on Earth fighting the Reapers, and the rumors of Shepard returning to Earth. Alright, this guy doesn't want to stick to his base. Come on. I think he may need just a tad more glue. His buddy went on fine. Hey guy, you're not going to be able to fight any rebels if you fall over. You gotta stay standing up. Okay? Maybe? Looks like he's gonna stay. Alright. 6 more. Just looking to see if anything's going on in the chat. Like I said, I can't see it super well without my glasses. Okay. Okay. I should have 2, 4. All right. The other 2 folks must be rebels because I have 4 rebel bases after these 2 Imperial troops. I put too much glue on one side of him. It's okay. So far I've managed to do these without putting anybody's arms on completely upside down. I came close. Yesterday I almost did it. Come on. Yeah. Just gotta sort of stretch them and pop them in place. There we go. And then this guy, okay. Just hold it. Alright, look at this pose. Look at his ridiculous pose. Your tiny little bit of his toe that's going to be touching the platform on the back here. This guy is going to be hard to glue onto a stand. Yeah, wish me luck, folks. Base. Dude. Come on, dude. As I said yesterday, I theorized part of the problem with gluing these guys down on their bases is that they are plastic and their bases are resin. And I think the bond with the glue might be a little weird. Okay, I just need to hold this guy. Need to hold him in place until he's ready to stay. This is the most time-intensive part of this whole thing so far, has been getting guys to stay on their bases. But that's fine. 11:06. Yeah, we're making good time. I have about 45 minutes. Oh no, he's scooching forward a little bit. About 45 minutes to build the ATRT. You staying? Maybe? Looks good. Looks good. Last Imperial Trooper. His arms, oops, sorry about that. His arms really need to be pried open to get them to go on. But there we go. And then, is the angle wrong? No. Blop. Oh man, look at how much glue I'm getting everywhere. What a disaster I am. Okay. Coming together. That's the last of the Imperials. It's okay. Okay, guy. Can do this. I just need to hold him for a while. Soon I will be painting, which I think is a lot more fun than doing all this gluing. I'll come in early tomorrow and start doing some detail work. Is he gonna stay up? He's a little wobbly. Seems to be okay though. There we go. All right. Almost there. Oh, look at this fella. He's got a lot of robe here, or, you know, his long jacket. He's got several pieces. He's got one arm with a rifle, one arm with a data pad or something. Oh, it's a goggles. And then he's got his legs as a separate piece. Yeah. Okay, so this peg here goes in the back of his legs, so like that. Kind of cool to have just randomly the last guys that I'm doing, second to last rebels I'm putting together, be so much more detailed. because I didn't plan that. I'm just grabbing bags at random and putting folks together. To sort of figure out what angle his rifle is at. Oh, he's holding it down by his side like that. Okay. Nice. Cool. Oh, just go on. There we go. There we go. Okay, together nicely. He needs a base. Nice. His gun actually touches the ground, so that'll help hold him in place. Very cool. Let's do another one. You can see what I was talking about with that post there, right into the legs. Can't even see the blend, it's right there at the belt. Rifle arm on. There we go. And his arm with the binoculars. I don't want to imagine how much longer this would have taken me if I had to cut all of these folks off sprues and clean up mold lines and everything. So I really appreciate the fact that Fantasy Flight has done most of the groundwork for us before we even start building. Okay, on his base he goes. Nice. There we go. 2 more rebels, and then we get to the more interesting piece. Last rebel. If you don't count the ATRT. Oh man, man. Glue just went everywhere. It's okay. It's just a generic trooper. It doesn't matter if they're a little glooped. Just need to pop his arms on. There we go. Yeah, look how much glue I got everywhere. Oh, what a disaster. It's alright, when I prime it, it should be okay. I don't think his arm's in danger of falling off. I just, yeah. It's all good. Alright. Here we go. On the base. And then we'll do the ATRT. And then I'm going to go hit all the guys who I put texture on their bases. I'm going to hit all of them with primer. Okay. I feel accomplished. I feel like I've done a lot. Hope this guy isn't going to topple as soon as I let go of him. You good? Stay. Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good. Last rebel. Try not to get as much glue all over him. Or her. Can't really tell. Could be a her. Okay. What is this? Is this a cat hair? This is why I don't model at home. Because I have a cat. And her hair would get everywhere. Come on. Pop that in there. And then just pull the arm over. Pop it in there. And there we go. Getting close. Pretty good. Yep. I'm gonna glue Luke and Vader to their bases as well. Nice. Okay, excellent. Luke next. Just to get in touch with my coworker Matt. He has gray primer. I only have white and green primer here. And I want gray primer for Luke, for Vader, and for the mechanical for the ships. Now, Luke, use the Force. You can do it. I wonder if Vader is going to be poorly balanced because he doesn't have his cowl and head. Should be okay. Okay. There we go. There's Vader. Alright. Shall we take a look at the AT-RT? The all-terrain rebel transport. Or trooper, whatever. So, here's the modeling instructions for the AT-RT. Yeah, it doesn't tell you a lot about how to put things together. It just shows you all the bits that go there. So, excuse me. So I'm gonna have to do some figuring out. But I've got all the bits, I believe. Here's this little guy. There was another small piece. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. His arm with a gun. This little doobie-doo. There's its base. And it's got big old chicken legs. One. Another chicken leg. There's the body of the thing. And then we've got like guns, flamethrowers, a whole bunch of other bits and pieces. Antenna. I guess these are like controls. So here's all the bits. Now, to make those into something. And these are like servos. Okay, let's start with building the guy. That should be relatively simple, right? So he's got a big rifle in one arm. Go. Okay, guy? Go. His other arm has a control rod in it. Am I missing his other arm? It's gonna be awkward. I haven't thrown out any of the bags, so if his arm is still in a bag, I've still got it. I just would expect it to be right here on the table. Alright. Alright, that's fine. On his other side, it looks like this little control rod goes like this. Is it? No. Maybe I should glue some legs onto this. Alright, this is where he sits. Oh, it goes this way. So he sits astride it here. Like so, I think. Oh, I see. Here we go. This is the seat. So he sits there, like that. Let's see, like that. So these little holes here must be where the controls go. So here's one control that he's not holding on to. Goes in like that. We'll stick that on. Go. His other arm is just gone. Huh. Huh. I have to do a thorough search for that arm. Okay. Then the legs glue onto here and here, like so. And you can see that the hole that the leg glues into has a notch in it. So, yeah, we'll go in like that. Okay. There we go. Pops right on. Lovely. Let's get the other side. There we go. Like so. And then these braces go from the legs to the body. There's a long one and a short one. Like the short one goes on left hand side and the long one goes on the right hand side. From there to there. Okay, I got this. Okay, so this, you can see it goes in this hole here. Actually, I'm on this side. It goes in this hole here. And then there's a hole on the inside of the leg, right there. It goes into. Bingo. Okay. And I lost that control rod, just fell off. It's fine, I'll get that later. Okay, let's do the other servo mechanism there. So again, just this goes in here, and then on the leg goes in there. Come on, boop. Yep. That glue sort of went everywhere, but that's fine. All right, that's the legs on. Let's reattach that handlebar. There we go. So make sure he's going to fit. Yep. Yep. All right. So on the back here, no. Up here behind where he sits, that's where that antenna goes. That's going to be one of the last things I put on, I think, because that antenna doesn't have a lot to it. It's going to go up here. Okay. And then there's 3 different options for the gun. Where does it go? Looks like it should go under the legs, like here. Like that. Is there a hole for it there? No. There's nowhere for those guns to go. Kind of want to magnetize those anyways. Alright, so I'm missing this guy's arm, which is annoying. Oh, I didn't put this on. This is the front of the ATRT. And that does have a notch here, or a notch there, and a thing there to attach it on. So I'm going to have to rotate that handlebar, because otherwise this can't go on. There, it's going to go right there. So let's glue that in place, I guess. The handlebar here is interfering with where this connects. But yeah, I don't think I'm doing it upside down right. Oh, maybe I'm doing it upside down, and that's why. That's what it was. Okay. Problem solved. Problem solved. Okay. So again, that goes here. If we can find his other arm, it's going to go from there to there. But I have to find his arm to do that. It's annoying. Well, let's glue this thing to a base. Oh, maybe I'll do that antenna. This goes on the back here like this. That antenna is not going to stay. Whoop! Off you get, guy. Hold this until it sets. That's awkward. There. Yeah. I wish there was a post or a hole or something to hold this in place, but there's not. It's just glue. Okay. So right now I'm going to predict that this antenna is going to be the piece that's going to fall off the most. And it's too small to really, man. Almost had it. I'm just gonna glop a mess of glue on there and stick it into that. There. There. That'll have to do. Whoa, whoa. Tilting, listing. Okay. All right. While that sets, let's go through all these bags and see if I can figure out what happened to this missing arm. No. That's kind of annoying. Nothing. Just not here. Well, hopefully it'll show up. I mean, it's got to be here somewhere. I still don't know how the guns are meant to be attached. So I don't see an obvious place for them to go. Oh, there it is. There's a hole on the front of this shield thing that the guns can go into. Again, I may try to magnetize that so that they're easily swappable. But hey, that's everything built. All right. So now, time to do some priming. I'm going to log off for now. Thank you for joining me as I assembled and got the rest of these guys ready to go. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow morning when I will have some guys primed and I'll be able to start adding some detail on them. So, yeah. Thank you everybody for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.